here it is. Yes, I ran out and bought this set after I saw the movie, after I've already built the 48 scale, quarter scale Revell F-14 Tomcat. I just knocked off a Phoenix missile. I found this model to be a little clunky. It took a lot of putty and sanding, and I didn't have a scriber, wasn't able to scribe and rescribe panel lines, so I practiced that on my last model. So hopefully I get to this. I'll have to put that back on. I get to this. This is 72nd scale. It looks like it's a little bit more new of a production. So the pieces are new. The details are more sunken than raised. The panel lines and whatnot. But yeah, it's pretty cool. This kit comes with some paints, I think it's Revell Aqua is the line. But I just went out and got a bunch of new Tamiya acrylics to use with this. So let's take a look. Here's our instruction booklet. Decals. There's the ones for the F-14. There's the F-18 from the new movie with his Top Gun markings on it. There's the paint guide, all the different colors. Starting the instructions for the Tomcat build, starting with the seat and the cockpit. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprues. Something interesting, the 48th scale that I built a couple months ago only had 94 parts with it. I think this one, the Tomcat, has 111 parts, so there's more parts to the 172nd than the 148. That's why I think it's a newer build also, a newer fabrication, whatever you want to call it. I think I read somewhere that this model was produced in 2000 something, and I think that one was done in the 80s and they just repackaged it. But the 72nd was done a little bit later, a little newer. So anyway, instructions. I get some color, putting the wings on. Pretty much the same setup as the 48th, but there is some difference in construction, like this part here. Right here, this, on the 148th version, the whole fuselage is from nose. Yeah, I think it is. From nose to tail is one piece, and you just put the wings on and it's complete. This one's separated into 3 separate pieces, so. And I'm hoping, I think, when we get to it, the engine nozzles are much better detail. The detail on the 48th was terrible. They show pictures throughout. They give you options to do in flight or with the landing gear down. This one shows both landing gear down. Here's one in flight, so they give you the option. You just have to cut some tabs. There's 1 or 2 pieces that I would use instead. My 48 scale is landing gear down. I got an F-15 I did with landing gear up. It's much easier, that's for sure. Depending on how you want to display it. I was thinking about maybe trying to get one of those polyurethane rods I've seen There's some missile construction. Polyurethane rods, and maybe get like a display and try my hand at painting the Top Gun logo on the display and have the model displayed in flight. I don't know. That's kind of... Here's a more detailed paint guide. This threw me off on the other one. In the pictures, it looks darker. These color differentiations here. Up here by the canopy, you have like a light strip there, and then there's a darker strip kind of on the midsection of the front end of the fuselage. But it's actually reversed. This is actually lighter, and this is darker. I don't know why they do that, but it is what it is. So I screwed that up on the first one, so hopefully I'll do a better job on this one. And there's the bottom one and top, pretty cool. And then it goes right into the F-18 construction, Super Hornet. I would think that this one would have options for in-flight as well, but it doesn't show it in the instructions like it does in the F-14. Oh yeah, it just shows you can cut off the pieces, yeah. Okay, and there's the armament. That's pretty cool. It shows all the different ways, options, all the different combos you could do to arm it. It's got the laser guide from the movie, the different bombs and missiles, AIM 9X Sidewinder, AIM 120C, AMRAAM, MK83 GP bomb. I think that's the one they dropped on that bunker. GBU 31JDAM. Not sure if that's the laser or the ANASQ228 Advanced FLIR, which one the laser is. I think it's that last one. Yeah, that's the laser that they used in the movie that got all jammed up or whatever. Anyway, so that's the F-18. And then obviously pretty cool, the color guide with the black, cool decal livery, and there's the top and the bottom, and that's that, and the missile guide. It doesn't show the laser on here, but these are what they use to drop the bombs they dropped in the movie, I believe. So pretty cool. Okay, so put some gloves on. I'm usually pretty messy. I don't want to get I was just mixing some paints, and so all the F-14 contents are in one bag here. So this is a 1/72 scale. And the F-18 content, it's come in 2 bags with a separate bag for the clear. But we'll go through the F-14 first. So, like I said, much better detail on these parts on the 1/72 version than the 48th scale. All this in 48th is raised, and it's all recessed here, which will lend much better to painting and weathering. I'm gonna try to black base these, paint it black, then come in with some lighter color to highlight the panels in between the panel lines, and then your panel lines stay dark. Anyway, I don't know if you can see the detail really here a little bit. Yeah, all those cool little panel lines and whatnot. Yeah, those were much harder to see on the other one. You can tell this is a newer print of this model. Try to find an exact date. Oh, it looks right here, 99. So 1999. I think that one was printed in like 80 something, 84, 85. So this is a 15 years newer than the 48 scale, and you can tell. Like I said, on the 48, the front and the rear nozzles, it's all one unit. All you got to do is put the wings in, put the fins on, and it's good to go. Cockpits are tiny. This is my first 72 scale. 48 scale is pretty cool, but there's still a lot of detail in here. Anyway, there's that. There's the wings and whatnot. Again, a lot of good detail on the wings with the panel lines. And the underneath section. And the vertical stabilizers. And the horizontal stabilizers. I don't know if that's the correct term. Close though. And then we get into one thing it doesn't have is no pilot on either of these models, which the 48 scales usually have. But here's the piece that creates the engine nozzle and the air brake. And we got 1, 2. That's weird. Those Phoenix missiles. 2 Phoenix missiles. Oh, I think these parts aren't used. 1, 2 Phoenix missiles. 3, 4 Phoenix missiles. A couple sidewinders. I think those are sidewinders, and I forget what these ones are called. And some tanks. That's cool. The other one, 148th, didn't come with any tanks, so. There's the nozzles are much better on the 172nd version than they were on the 48th. And some more pylons and the radar that goes in the front. Some more cockpit instrument detail underneath for in-flight version. And then clear. I'm just gonna leave it in the bag for now. Clear part. Then you got the F-18. Make sure I don't mix these parts up. So I've also built a 48 scale version of this. That was one of my first ones back during quarantine. I started back in a couple years ago. And so I'm excited to redo this smaller version, but skills are better now after 4 or 5 models. Anyway, that's the F-18 top. Leading edge there, that cool profile from the top of the F-18. Underneath. Obviously not quite as much detail here as there is in the 48 scale. Still good though. Panel lines are great. We'll see how much putty and sanding I need, but this time I want to really make efforts to maintain the panel lines. I have a couple of different scribers gonna try a couple different techniques when I putty to keep it sanding at a minimum. That's it. There's 91 parts to the F-18 here. Some landing gear stuff. Some horizontal stabilizers, nozzles, some sidewinders, cockpit stuff here. Some fuel tanks and some laser. There's the laser from the movie. That's the laser that locks on, and then these are the bombs that they drop, I believe. Kind of cool. That's the F-18. Clear part here for the F-18. And then, yeah, the instruction booklet we just went through. And the decals one more time. Got your F-14 decals and your F-18 decals. So pretty cool stuff. Should keep me busy for a little bit.